real quick, what's new? Some things that are new. We'll have new black uniforms next year. And they're a little different. There's some stripes on the sleeves. I ran everything by the art teacher, Coach Stanier, before we did it, so he okayed the colors and things. So that's one thing. Boys, some of them don't even know about that, I think. You know, they come up, are we getting new black uniforms? Yeah, we are. And pants will be the same, just black will be it with the orange A on it. So. Some new equipment in the weight room we've gotten, and Pat's gotten, and things like that. We've got a new piece of equipment for the field, the blaster, which football moms bought. And it's basically a device that has pads that are on springs, and you run through it. So it's for running backs, receivers. It gives you resistance as you run through it. And we just got that set up today, as a matter of fact. We have upgraded our huddle since last year, and the number of hours we have, and Coach Bruns has done a great job with kind of spearheading that and getting the coaches more involved with, and everybody becoming more huddle literate, I guess. And it's definitely a challenge for me, but it's something that saves us time, and also the capabilities that it gives us as far as highlights and things like that are really good. Bought 2 new iPads that Coach Stanier and Coach Bruns are using quite a bit, and Coach Bitzer takes them out and films quarterbacks throwing and then puts it on huddle, and they can watch themselves from that day of practice. And we're going to use them in the weight room for teaching purposes to film the boys when they're doing lifts, and then we can immediately show them, this is what you're doing good, this is what you need to work on, and things like that. That's been a real help for us. A couple other things is the golf outing. Last year we did it, and Danny Albers is here. He runs the Football Alumni Association, and I put up 6 new placards on the wall yesterday, and I got one more to get up out there. But Danny runs that, and he ran the golf outing last year, and we just kind of kept it to coaches and alumni and things. I'm going to open it up to anybody that wants to play, dads and things that want to play. I guess the moms can play if they want to join in that fun day of California. It's June 1st. There's some flyers up here. It's a low-key affair, believe me. Whenever the coaches are involved golfing, it's a low-key affair. Pitcher, do you golf? Are you any good?
I'm all right.
You're okay? You get on my team. I need help. But it's a fun thing, and it's just, you know, to try to keep guys involved after they played for us has been something the last few years, and Danny and John Raymond have done a great job with that. Another big change is we are moving back to the other sideline. And we moved the other year, and I thought about it, and I said, and this actually came from a former player, Daniel Rod, who's going to volunteer and help us this year. Daniel said, why don't you think about moving back? And I asked him why and so forth, and he had some very legitimate reasons. And the reason we moved in the first place was to get away from the noise, so that we felt like we could make adjustments better and basically coach better. So it was a benefit more so, I think, for the coaches than it was for the players. Because when you're on that far sideline, it's a pretty sterile environment. It's quiet and things like that. Well, there's sometimes when you need a lot of emotion in football, and we need to be on the home side. We need to be in front of the stands. So those are some new things that are going on that I think are some positive things. Now, as far as where we're at with our program, we've got around 70+ players right now. There's always a few we get at the end, and there's always a few that drop off, seems like, and so forth. And our numbers, maybe you're down a little bit. Some of that is the size of the classes. Our school enrollment's down a little bit. You know, from probably 5 years ago, we're down a couple hundred, lost 400 kids. Wow. That's 100 kids per class. So that's, you know, it's quite a bit. All the coaches have attended clinics in the off season. We had clinics in Cincinnati, a couple of them. I went to Nashville. A couple of coaches went up to Malone, up in Canton, and Ohio State Clinic. So, you know, been around getting some good ideas on some things. There have been some staff changes. There's some guys that have decided to go with some other directions, and we currently still have one position I'm still interviewing for. I've interviewed 4 people so far, and still looking. But it's early. I don't want to commit too soon because we do have a couple teaching openings out there. And it's always, I think the best thing is if you can get a teacher in the building to coach. So we'll definitely look at that, but there's plenty of people that are interested in it. I think we've made great gains in strength. I think by changing to 3 days a week, we didn't burn as many calories off of them as we have in the past, and they've gained weight. I know Josh has quite a bit, and you know, a lot of them have gained 10 to 15 pounds probably since we started. You know, and they look good. They look strong. I mean, we watch them from behind, and their shoulders are broad and their butts are wide, and that's what we like. We'll start lifting May 31st. We get out of school May 30th. So May 31st, they'll be in here at 7:30 in the morning. Be here till about 10. That's a Friday. And we go to 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday in the summer. We don't, our schedule now will hold us through, they're off on Thursdays now, but their off day will be Wednesdays during the summertime. There'll be some evening sessions for those guys that have to work and things like that. You know, the first few years I offered more evening sessions, and a lot of times those guys just didn't want to get out of bed. I said, well, you know what, get out of bed, get here. This is for the guys that truly had to go work that day, couldn't make it. Ninth graders are going to lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's 26 lifting days on the calendar. They've got to make 18 of them, or they'll have to lift during camp after practice and things. And that's usually not a problem. They usually make that pretty well. August 1st will be the day after our camp ends, and we'll go to Woodland Mound again. We had a great day out there last year. Boys do some different physical things, and we also talk to them about different things. Coaches take a segment and talk to them. They get fed, and that's something else football moms does for us, bring the food out. And it was a good day for us last year. The camp days are on there, and July 18th is a Thursday, the 19th is a Friday, so we'll do 2 days. Then we'll do 5 days the next week, and then we'll have 3 days. You get 10 days total. 23rd, I'd like to have their paperwork turned in. We'll get some moms up there to collect paperwork and things. That'll be save us some time. We are going to do on the 30th a 7-on-7 at McNick. So we'll have camp in the morning, and then that night we'll do a 7-on-7. 2-a-days start August 5th. And they're not that long, I guess, because we start school the 19th. August 10th is going to be a busy day. And we're going to try to get a quick workout in, practice, then have pictures at 10. We want to have a cookout. We did last few years at 11. And then the boys got to sell the booster cards at 12. So I'm trying to put a lot of stuff in that may not work, but we're going to try the best we can with that. There's just not that many dates out there. And, you know, you can come up and watch us work out on that Saturday, and then pictures, and who Life Touch is doing the pictures now, and those should come out pretty good. And then we'll have the cookout. We've got 2 new scrimmages, different teams. We're scrimmaging Western Brown here. We can't scrimmage Mount Healthy because we're playing them the first game. And we can't scrimmage Lakota East because the GMC, their conference, is making them scrimmage someone who they don't play in the league during the season. So they had to drop us as well. Then will be our Saturday routine on the 17th. And then we'll be in school the 19th, the teachers will. I think the boys' first day is probably the 21st. Okay, so that's a regular week. Now there's some changes in there in the work week. We're going to do some things in the morning to try to get them out of here earlier in the evenings. I didn't like the idea of some of them leaving at 6:45 at night. So at 6:30 on Mondays, they're going to come in and we're going to give them the scouting report. That saves us a half hour after school, and we can get practice started sooner. A lot of them are here early anyway. It's going to entail some things, you know, them getting out of bed a little earlier. Tuesdays, the JV are going to lift at 6:15. Pat has changed the in-season lifting for the teams in season to before school. We just get so busy after school with things like that, so that's going to be early there. Wednesday, the varsity lifts at 6:15. So really, they have 2 early. Each group will have 2 early mornings. The varsities will be Monday and Wednesday. Now the captains, they'll come in on Tuesdays. they'll have 3, but they're captains. The JV will have Monday and Tuesday. Then Thursday, we have more time at the end, the JV will lift afterwards. So that's a big change, but it'll really help us out in the evening, because then we get off the practice field and 10 minutes later we can show them about 15 minutes of film, and my goal is by 6:15 they're out of here, which you know, I think is a good thing. We ask a lot of them, and we spend a lot of time with them, and we would spend more time, because that's the way we are, I guess, as coaches, and we never feel like the job's what we want, but you know, the boys get tired and they need to get home and get some rest. Then August 23rd, we scrimmage at Kettering Altar, and that's going to be a really good scrimmage. They're a great program up in Dayton area, and then the next year they'll come here, and then we scrimmage, or we play Mount Healthy on the 30th. I'm assuming it's the 30th. I haven't got any confirmation if it's Friday or Saturday. Hopefully it's on a Friday, and I'm not sure. You know, they play these games at Princeton sometimes. We may be at UC. I hope we're at UC, but that's up to Tom Gamble, I guess, on that. Our schedule's changed a little bit. We got Mount Healthy, like I said. Then Withrow's coming here again week 2. We have to split the gate with them, but we got them to come back out here, which is good. And then week 3 we go to Harrison. So you know, it's a schedule of schools our size, which is what we wanted. Then week 4 we get into the league with Walnut Hills and Milford, Loveland, Turpin, Sunesti. Then we're back out of the league with Winton Woods, and then finish with Kings. So I think 5 games are here for sure. So it's a good thing. Won't have to be on the road quite as much. I mentioned earlier we've simplified some things. I think offensively we've simplified some schemes and tried to condense some things. We instead of having 8 formations, we got it down to 5. And we still have more than that, but at least from a learning point of view for the boys, I think that will help in some of our blocking schemes. Defensively, we're going back to running the stuff we ran a couple years ago, the stack and things, which I think the boys will be comfortable with as well.